Hello, welcome, namaskar. I am Hani Kithani, co-founder and COO of 10,000 Startups India, which is a platform for startups from idea through IPO stage for fundraising, virtual incubation, and acceleration. Here we are with another exciting episode of 10K SI Investor Lounge, an event intended to foster conversation and learning about startup fundraising, its challenges, and behind the scenes of funding from the leading investors. I am pleased to introduce to you Miss Pooja Mehta, Chief Investment Officer in JITO Angel Network. So, Pooja, most of us here today know you, but could you please highlight something that makes you and JITO unique?
Firstly, thank you so much, Honey, for having me here and representing JITO Angel Network and JITO Incubation Innovation Foundation. A quick thing about us, about JITO and myself. What's unique about JITO? It's obviously only one of the, and I think only community-based network which is trying to focus on the Jains, like our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi always says about made by Indian, for the Indian, by the Indian. We Jains from the community talk about made by Jains, for the Jains, to the Jains, and by the Jains. So that's what this network does all about. What's much more unique, another part is that we still come from the same background that comes from our forefathers of the Lala Buddhi that we talk about, that whatever business is top line and bottom line has always been important. You have to make money, you cannot lose money. And to make money, this network helps the entire ecosystem to bridge the gap between folks to the community experts, industrialists or businessmen to grow. Unique about myself, there's nothing unique about myself. I'm a normal human being. I'm just leading this network since last 5 years. We are trying to focus our basic principles that we could follow and adhere to what our parent company has made, which is JITO, and which is more than a decade old company. So we follow that. We are trying to do justice what this community is built for, and follow the principles of Mahavira as well. So that's what we are. Our basic principle is, and basic uniqueness is, over and above is just everybody's passion and effort that the team and we all are putting in.
That is so amazing to hear. And what is the team size at JITO at the moment?
At the moment, in the entire organization, we have a team of 15 of us, where 7 to 8 of them are managing the incubation part and the operations of incubation, and 6 of them are managing Angel Network. So 13 of them and plus 2 interns. Yeah.
Wow. And I've heard a lot about JITO. Could you also share, your favorite startup story or any case study that you feel that we all must know?
So there are many, to be honest, but one which has which we feel proud of even today while our investments is a company called Blue Smart. And why so? This company came to us at the closure of the round by top Delhi-based funds, VC fund and a network. And we fought for a small pie. And when we fought for the small pie, we got it. But when the DD report finally came out, both the networks backed out. And when they backed out, obviously the reasons were shared. And as a lead for this network at JITO Angel Network, we never felt that this is the reason to back out. I mean, for us, any issues that a startup phase is teething issues, even if they are 5-year-old or 6-year-old. Because what a founder, especially Indian founder, lacks is then experience to understand how to run a business. Everybody comes with with the zeal, with the motivation to run a company and become an entrepreneur, but they lack the experience, which is obvious. It happens with everybody. Be a traditional business or in a technology or an innovative business. But the due diligence we did again on Blue Smart, which came across to us is, it's okay. A lot of JITO people have suffered this, so it's very very nominal for us. हम धंधा करते हैं, हमको तकलीफ आती है, हमारे लिए issues आते हैं. So We said, okay, let's take it a challenge. We took a challenge and we committed that don't worry, we'll put all the money. We'll all put all the money, which was 400k back then when they wanted. And we said, we'll back you up. You just do whatever, accept whatever we want in the assets. Yeah, let's go ahead. We did that. We transferred the money, first tranche. So the second tranche, by the time we could transfer, the company had already raised 22 crores. And that's where we felt, okay, JITO, what we truly think and we believe is we are on the right path. It is not the, you think that just doing business or seeing the right documentation or financial model that we call or pitch is important. What we truly believe is the founder's face, the founder's body language, and the intensity of his to work, and obviously the business model. So this case has truly touched our heart, and today, by grace of God, they are doing very well. Likewise, there are many such portfolio companies of ours which are doing very, very well. But this is the case where we could never forget. We tell people it's an experience that the Lala Buddhi that the Jains come with, it's really the foresighted that they come with and they take the right decision.
No, definitely. It's been ages that they are into the business world. So who are we to tell them? Great. I think they are doing wonders, BlueSmart, as a startup. I've noticed a lot of information about them on LinkedIn as well. So it's amazing. So, Pooja, I have heard, I have been asked a lot of questions, when I started promoting this campaign about today's session. I got so many queries from these startups asking, hey, do JITO invest in other businesses as well, even if you're not Jain? So what do you want to say for that?
Yes, JITO does. As I said, we have two projects under JIIF, which is JITO Incubation Innovation Foundation. One is the incubation, where the incubation part is purely a social cause to support our Jain entrepreneurs. So we tell our entrepreneurs across the globe, come, sign in, become part of this incubation like a normal incubation center, and we give touch. We will help you in the normal mentoring and credits and basic no funding. Angel Network is for all the entrepreneurs, global level, every caste, every community, anyone, any stage, pre-seed to pre-series B, you can come apply for funding. Again, only two things you have to keep. One thing you have to keep in mind, that your business model cannot be against Jain principles, which is you cannot do alcohol, you cannot affect animals directly or indirectly, which is non-vegetarian. There are a few things which we would not appreciate and not participate in. But what we do is, as I said, for any caste, any community, any stage, any companies, if you have a zeal, if you have a great business model, come apply to JITO Angel Network through our portal, and we'll be happy to take it forward if it fits in our criteria.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that clarification.
Every time it comes to me.
I really received a lot of queries, and even I always believe that JITO is accepting everyone, because I think we met a lot of startups from JITO as well in the last 2 years, and I was always in the impression that it accepts everyone. But then when these queries came, I thought, let me just clarify that for everyone.
It's good you asked.
Thank you. So how do you identify the investors or angel investors for the JITO Angel Network? Do you also accept angel investors on a global level?
Yes, we do. How we don't have to identify, luckily by God's grace, our parent company has done everything. Since we said we are an organization which is for Jains, by the Jains, to the Jains, basic principle. So all our investors are Jains. Right? The way the incubation is supporting the entrepreneurs, the Angel Network is supporting only Jain investors. Do and invest in all the opportunities which are financially maybe benefit to them and give them multiple access, or learn something unique about some company or a founder. How we identify them? As I said, I don't need to identify them. My JITO parent company already has multiple members who are part of this social cause, who wants to do it. So we have 70 chapters in India and 20 chapters on a global level. So there are more than lakhs of members who are part. Officially, we call only FCP members, which are first patron members. which are 15,000. But off-site, there are 10,000 plus youth, 8,000 plus ladies members, a lot of other JBN members and all which are there. So I personally feel there are lakhs and lakhs of members already, of which we could only cater to 400 people who my team says right now is there. 360 I think is the actual members onboarded as on JITO Angel Network, of which 200 are active investors on the portal.
So just out of curiosity, all of these investors are businessmen, or you have different types of people joining you from the community?
So different types, completely from, some are businessmen. So we have right from Pradeep Rathod is a member. We have a person who's maybe working in some professional, who's a CA, who's a CS, who's running a retail store, maybe who's a diamond, who's a jeweler, or who's maybe a founder of a startup as well. So we have multiple genre of experiences. We have women also on board who are housewives. So complete mixed genre of our investors that we have.
That's amazing how you cater to the complete community of your, Jain community. That's amazing, the work that you've done, and it's commendable. So speaking about, investors, seed investments and startup entrepreneurs, do tell me about your thoughts or your experience, Pooja, in terms of importance of startup documents like business plan, pitch deck, etc., and any other important or strategic document that a startup must have before they reach out to the investors.
To be very honest, these documents don't play an important role. These are basic ones which come on the secondary level. Obviously, when you're building a company, you need to have a basic pitch deck. You don't need to have a fancy deck where you're spending a lot of time and money. Nowadays, people actually outsource making these presentations. I somehow don't understand. If you have so much money, then just fund your own company rather than making presentations. These presentations, their looks, their beautification do not attract us. What attracts us is very simple, is the founder. We try and make it point that we at least see the founder. COVID made us do it virtually to understand it. We also earlier we used to go meet the founders personally and talk to them and see the body language and understand. And then secondary, to support it, the financials are important. If you are in the business, you have to know by today if you are doing X number of revenue or zero revenue, how many years you're going to do this revenue. So, but if it is not ready, we have a complete support and guidance. If we like you, if you like your thought of the business and basic MVP that you have done on the product, if you are okay with that and it is convincing to us, we help you in making all these models. So these presentations, these financials, these business models, documentation, projections, they play an important role, but not at the primary stage. What is important is your clarity of thought as a founder, what you want to do and how you want to do, rather than wasting and putting your time and effort and money into making this fancy presentation and money putting into it and outsourcing it.
So true. I think very well said, Pooja, that it is important, but then we don't need to glorify every document that we share with the investor. And speaking about the documents and startup pitches and the clarity of thought of startups for their businesses, how do you evaluate startups and qualify them for investments in JITO?
Good question, and this is where also we play a very important role. There are a few things that is important for us. I mean, I've reiterated again and again, and obviously a founder, his body language, his clarity of thought is important. What is more important is when we are screening, when the team is analyzing a startup, the model, we ask one question to us, that because we know the community now on a global level, a lot of people know us, that this is a 6-people team who was working under the angel investment and all. We understand and we want to understand in a company when we are screening that how is it at a community level we can help this founder grow his company. If while screening this, we have this thought, okay, if he is planning to do say X, but with the community effort, we can give him business within the community by multiple exits. Then we have a authority to ask those multiple exits from him. So in a simple line, if I'm expecting 100x from you as an exit, I might as well contribute to 30 to 40x towards the top line and bottom line, then be eligible to ask for those multiple 100x from the founder of the company.
That must be so helpful for them.
Yes, and that's the reason why, by grace of God and by support of all the entire JITO network, touchwood, the entire COVID, none of our companies fell apart. All were sustainable, they could survive, and thanks to our community who supported them by giving the business. Obviously, they were eligible and they were good, hence they were getting the business. But with one call, they were okay giving them a business of few lakhs, and with the benefit, the businesses grew and the revenue grew with that. So that's the benefit of this entire community.
True. Speaking about the community that you have built and you're working, what are the specific or your favorite sectors of startup that you feel is best in JITO? Like, is it tech, is it food, or your favorite sectors, if you want to share?
My favorite is health tech, and then comes edtech. And I'm still gung-ho about both the sectors. At least health tech is I'm more strong that there's still a lot to explore, lot to come in. And at JITO also, we have aggressively looking into lot of such innovations in health tech. At tech, we feel we've completed the circle of investing most of the companies, but Bharat education is what I truly believe in, because how much ever said and done, the education has still not reached the core Bharat yet. We see people, dragged into multiple employment opportunities at a very, very young age. So education there is very important. It's just unfortunate that it's some places there are, something not, but exploitation is much more higher compared to the education. So I always talk to my founders about 2E, या तो exploitation low या education low. So we always tell them education पे focus करो, so that you spread in the Bharat, and then exploitation will reduce automatically, and you will be able to do something which is actually giving back to the society, with obviously you managing to economically benefit your own startup, but do something towards the community and society as well. So truly believe in that as well. So these are two my heart touching sectors which I love to be part of. As I said, healthcare, I'm still exploring. Anybody listening to this also, if you're in a healthcare startup doing something unique, very unique, do come and apply to JITO Angel Network.
Sure. I think we at 10KSI have some amazing startups in health tech. We recently onboarded few, and one of the startup is into cancer prevention as well. So it's very innovative. They've patented it. So I will definitely share those information with you if you're interested, and we can take it forward from there.
Yeah, please. In fact, we've already invested in one startup, cancer prevention, by a normal blood test. So if you do a blood test, then just like a normal body profiling that you do, if you do it every year, you will get to know with a normal blood test that there are these cancer cells getting active or will be active in next 6 months. So just be cautious and precaution that next 6 months this cancer cells may get activated. So just take the right treatment immediately. So no chemo, nothing required. Immediately take precautions and get those cells dead immediately.
Wow. Also, Pooja, talking about VC funding and startup funding, we are listening a lot about slowdown that's happening in this area. What is your take on this slowdown that might happen?
I personally feel this slowdown was must in the ecosystem of startups post-COVID, because COVID was a FOMO which the ecosystem investors were moving behind. Everybody was, because you were at home, you had nothing except stock market because you were not going outside anywhere. All you had to do is figure out digitization, figure out startups, figure out technology who can save your own traditional business, or you get access to easy money running. And if you hear some top investor or top guy investing in it, then you are under FOMO. I want this deal, I want to invest in this, I don't care about the valuation, I don't care about anything, I don't care about due diligence as well, but just put my money. So we are very happy that this slowdown is coming in. We as a network has always moved very slowly. We are the tortoise in the race. We do not believe in doing 100 investments or 500 investments or investing so many crores in the startup ecosystem or in the startups. No, we do not have any such fund allocated. We do not have any such number in our mind to do it. We think about with our large performance that the year 1 we did 3 companies, year 2 we did 4 companies, year 3 में 19 हो गया, year 4 में 40 हो गया. So which is TK, it just went with the flow. But we are very happy with the slowdown. One, because now you don't give vulnerable valuations which are not acceptable to the investors. So now founders have still sobered down. They've sorted down. Okay, now you just cannot quote anything and everything to these investors. Now they do not live in this FOMO. Next very important part is now investors have also understood is you have to be, it's very important to understand that a business can be only grown or should be only grown rather by focusing on their multiples in the revenues and top line and bottom line. You cannot take the money to burn, you have to take the money to grow, right? You just raise the fund maybe to just burn the money is not acceptable, and we were always with that as I said, the Lala Buddhi that we come across. So we are very happy that now that is coming across, a lot of things are happening. So this is also very important.
Thank you for saying that on record. Great. I think this is amazing. Thank you for sharing those insights. So we'll talk a lot about technicalities, of course, with our audience in the Q&A session. Before we move on to that, I really want to understand, how did you come across this industry, and what made you, feel that I should join this industry and I should work on it, and I'm passionate about it.
So that's another long story, but I'll just cut it short. I have never been part of startup ecosystem earlier. I have always been a girl who used to play with numbers, so always managed funds in a traditional companies, managing the finances, managing the working capital, done all those. I've done my equity research for a couple of years. Then I went into a traditional company where I had to manage their funds of the limits with the working capital. Started with a 40 crore, grew them to 400 crore, moved them to, then we moved to 700 crore. Then I took a sabbatical when I delivered. Then my older boss, who was really very amazed with the passion that we used to work, because only in a span of 3 years we moved the company from 400 crore to from 40 crore to 400 crore, and then another 3 years from 400 to 7 to 800 crore. So he was very amazed with the passion that we used to work. So because he was from this community, and the Jain community, JITO community wanted to make JIF as an all-women organization back then. So it was just Swanubhuti who used to lead. She was the CEO. Then she had to move during the COVID out of the organization. And I joined in for some work in the initial period, because they just wanted because they wanted an all-women team. I had to join in. I started my journey in the startup ecosystem back then when I joined them for the first day. So 2017 was I entered into this ecosystem, which was my first day in JIF, and I'm here today trying to work around and do some make some change or benefit to the ecosystem in whatever format that we can.
Amazing. And we have seen it. I mean, kudos to you and your work in the community. So Pooja, do tell us, as an investor, as a person who is always evaluating startups, what does your day look like?
My day is very, very simple. I am an early riser, so exercise plays an important role for me. It keeps my sanity in place. So early morning exercises, then getting early back to work. So on the phones most of the time, but I make sure that I when I'm there with my team, at least for half an hour or so, we all are sitting together talking, no work thing. So we'll talk about personal life. We'll talk about we'll just try and wind do some off the work discussion every day, and then back to work. So my day is very much closure and focused towards work. I can work from 8 to 12 in the night, and passionate people call me workaholic. So but I love this because the ecosystem demands for this kind of, because my investors are available post the market hours or post the working hours that they are, and my founders are available even in the midnight. So they need help, they need anything. So they feel Pooja is it, and even for my team rather. So my team is also like that. They've picked up everything and they said, "Arey, ma'am kar rahi hai, to bhi karna chahiye." And then I get a grief from their families. Kabhi to band karne bol do kaam. But very very simple. I'm most of the time on the phone. It's just that there are random calls. There are completely random calls that I keep getting, but I make sure I reply. If no calls, WhatsApp is what I'm always pretty active, and I reply to the WhatsApp messages either in a span of 30 minutes or by end of the day. So that is what I always work around.
That's amazing. And that's typically, what I've heard till date in all my episodes of Investors. So your day just goes on and it doesn't want to end, and you're always on the phone. So I don't know how you take your break time or your vacations, if at all you do that.
We don't have vacations as investors or as a managing network. Imagine, no, we have 63 portfolio companies right now. Even if you've taken exit our portfolio companies, we still try and be in connect with each other. With JITO, people spread across. Anybody wants to talk to you at any time. Rather forget, I get hardly my investors call. I get random calls. आप पूजा मेहता हो, मुझे पैसा चाहिए, आप कैसे दोगे? So I have to explain in the 10 minute कि हम ऐसा करते हैं, ऐसा होता है. We get traditional people calling us, मेरी दुकान में funding नहीं मिल रही, आप दुकान में पैसा लगा दो. So such kind of calls we keep getting. So we just don't know how the day goes on, but it keeps going on. But in the night when we are closing our eyes, we feel okay, you've done something good for someone.
So true, so true. And Pooja, before we move on to the Q&A session, I really want to understand what is your advice to all the startups and entrepreneurs that may be starting right now or are already into the business and trying to grow their business?
My advice to folks who are listening this or who will be listening this, if you're an entrepreneur, you wish to be an entrepreneur, please build a company which you want to build for yourself and not for selling it for someone. Do not build a company or do not get an investor on board who wants to exit or who talks about exit. Take people on board, or you do something which you are doing it for yourself. It is your life, it is your baby, it's going to be you living it for your bread and butter, which you have to keep growing. So do not build a company to sell it. Two very important to all the CAs and CSs who are now turning into entrepreneurs and do not pursue their professionals. Please understand, you have put a lot of efforts to become a CA, a lot of efforts to become a company secretary or a CFO. Do not forget your basic principles of your professional of CA finances. Once you get into an entrepreneurship, you completely forget of all this. So please manage your finances of your own company as an entrepreneur also very, very well, rather than skipping and not understanding what your professional has been.
That was very specific. Any case study you want to back it up with?
Every case study I have, all my founders who are CA or CSs, they are messed up with their finances and compliances. They're completely messed up. मैं तो भूल ही गया, मैं तो business बढ़ाने में रह गया, या I was busy with the technology and modeling and documentation that I forgot के finances भी संभालना था. So it is happening with it, and it's the nature. It's the flow which takes you there. But now these folks have to really be, focused and understand. It has to be a consciously effort taken that, okay, I'm a CA. I have to be better at this. That is the first expectation that anybody is going to have with me, right? You cannot say that bhul gaya. You cannot forget that. So hence that was, and I tell in all my interviews, I tell in all my chats or shows, I tell them, please CACS, don't forget that you're a professional.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, and I'll make sure this reaches everyone out there. So thank you so much. Shall we start the Q&A session? I think audience is already excited and we are receiving the questions in the chat.
Sure. Would love to interact.
So our first question is congratulations and kudos on your journey. What's your take and preference on impact, social, and diversity investments? Ayush Agarwal, are you there? Can you unmute your mic and introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Ayush. So that's
Hi,
was my
Ayush.
question, and then the session has been really, really helpful. And of course, congratulations on your journey, and I really appreciate how you have modeled your everything from the studies, then your work life, and the future endeavors and the companies that you support, and the way that you've taken and shaped in all the founders and people who want to create newer products, and you mentor them, guide them, which is very rare. Oftentimes we've seen a lot of investors, trying to focus on just an ROI model and just going away. That's it, just mujhe returns ka matlab hai. But one thing that I've observed and appreciated a lot is something that you guide and mentor and mold people. So that's very good. Another thing is about investing into people is something that I could probably put in a nutshell that you spoke about. In the founder and their capability of being innovative and being able to execute what the idea is. So really, really helpful, really motivating, and same goes to the 10 KSI team as well. Great endeavor and really, really helpful. But yeah, just a small question right there for you.
Yeah, so you wanted to take all preference on impact and social diversity investments, right?
Yes.
So truly believe in that. As I said, two important sectors which are close to my heart as well is health tech and ed tech. I spoke about the Bharat, which is an impactful business model to be in. Yes, impact and social diversity investments have been done by the network, and it is important because it's also a cause that you are part of, and it is very much important for any companies to focus on. But very few companies are actually building a model for impact to the community, impact to the nation. They are building it to get an impact fund on board. That is what I have come across till date. So some pre-seed investments we've done, and we're trying to get the companies maybe at R&D level, and then maybe future. But if anybody has built a really a great model and business which is supporting and adding value to the Bharat, to the globe, or to the nation, would be really happy to take a look at it and take it forward. Because one thing that we really look into is, even if we are not able to fund, which is absolutely fine, fund is not the priority of anybody. What is important and prima facie most important part is getting businesses. If you get business, you automatically get funds. So do not add more equity investors. I mean, which goes against my business today. But adding equity investors is a loss to your equity, which is very much valuable. So focus on building up more business top line, which will automatically fund your company. So which is more important? But any such companies which are impacting and are into social and diversity will be happy to look into it either by funding or through support by the community.
That's very encouraging. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Pooja. I think that was really insightful and very to the point to what Ayush asked. So I want to tell you that we also have Dr. Shivakiran Makam from Atal Incubation Center. So he also wanted to understand. Are you there, Dr. Shiva? Oh yes, he's there. Please feel free to unmute your mic and introduce.
Fine. Okay. I thought this is just a Q&A. Good that you gave me opportunity to put forward my question. Basically, I represent an incubator in Tier 3 town, a small town, Anantapur, which is also called Fruit Basket of South India. So we work with women-centric incubation program. So 30-40% of my startups founders are all women, both virtual and physically. They're incubated. Now we normally run programs with the investors rather than calling the investors at the end of the cycle. We actually engage them from the beginning of the ideation stage itself, so that there's a bonding between, again, emotional bonding between both investors and startups. I don't know how it works in business, but we are creating impact here. So business has to be there. Definitely money making is there, but also there is a community well-being also that's we are looking at. So that's the question where I was referring to. Do we work with incubators when we run a program? Because next month we are running some program for women, like 30 women. We want to help them. Not a livelihood. It's a business startup. Most of these women will be from the college passed out graduates, just after the graduation or during graduation. So we run 2 years program actually.
Wow.
So yeah, very intensive program. First is pre-incubation, where it's just ideation, breaking, making. Finally, when they end up with one particular idea which they can think they're confident, then we will bring the money part. Okay. So would you like to be part of that kind of program where you can journey with us and help the startups build their businesses? Of course, you will also be part of that success story.
Yeah. Firstly, Dr. Shivakiran, congratulations on working towards the women-centric approach, supporting a lot of idea stage, multiple changes in idea, and then growing up at a certain level. And second, certainly would love to be part of incubators. We love to work with incubators, because incubators and more than accelerators, incubators are where you actually get the cream and the little polished, little unpolished companies where you feel like working together. They come with this Indian mindset of entrepreneurs. They come with a little ego and attitude. That's the basic flaw with the Indian entrepreneurs. No hard feelings with anyone, but it's just that maybe we are inbuilt with these two important words with our normal lifestyle. So these incubator stage, when they are incubated, the incubation center actually polishes that so well that those two parts are already settled down, mellowed down, and they understand that what is life and what face the journey of the tough life of entrepreneur. So we love to be part of these incubation centers, or the incubator program that you're coming up next month or anytime, maybe. Apart from being part of it, if you need any help in any mentoring part from any of our community folks, wherever we can touch upon, we'll be very happy to support and be part of such change to the network that you are getting. And third important point I wanted to say, you said tier 3 small. Trust me, being part of this community, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 are the cities which has highest talent.
I can watch for that.
Yeah. There is the best startups, the actually good companies which are solving real problem are from those part of the country, and they are actually doing, and they're not really building business for money. As I said, they're actually building business for solve to kar lo. They solve it, you show it, and then you go ahead if you're unable to pump in with some funds. So I would love to be part of and explore something together.
Super, thank you. We will reach out to you through our host. Okay.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Dr. Shiva. Thank you so much, Pooja, for sharing so many great insights. Shall we take the next question?
Yes, please.
Chanchal Das, are you there? Can you unmute your mic if you're there? So Chanchal Das is learning mathematical concepts is a global problem. Every student faces this problem on a global level, and they have solved this problem but facing difficulties in putting it into the market. Any suggestions for such platform?
It's a very specific question.
It's basically edtech, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you are trying to solve a mathematical problem. I think today just I read in a newspaper of this Bhaksu, the app that a 17-year-old IIT Hyderabad dropout guy who started this because he's teaching easy maths. He's the fastest math solver in the country, or rather globally, and he's doing very well for himself. So I don't see it as a problem. Just gear up. Get the right table in place, maybe touch upon those schools or touch upon those mothers who feel mera bachcha maths mein weak hai, and you will be able to get across something.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Pooja. So I think I have the next question as well from Nikita Dinger. Are you here, Nikita? Can you raise your hand?
Yes, I am here.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, please feel free to
I
ask a question.
yes, Pooja. So I have incubated a company which is based on health tech and personalized medicine, and it resonates really well with what your interests are. So I was looking forward. I mean, what are the ways that we can reach out to you?
Certainly, certainly. If you want, I can drop out my email ID over a chat box or whatever Honey feels fit. We can do that as well. Leave it to Honey
Okay.
if you're sure.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
I'll
So
write to you
Nikita,
on your
please,
email, and I'll send you.
yeah,
Yeah.
please feel free to reach out to me on the email address that I've shared here. We will definitely get you in touch with Pooja and her team.
Okay. Thank you so much. That will be really helpful. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Thank you. Any other technical questions you want to ask for the other health tech entrepreneurs that you may have?
Yes, I do see that in the health tech sector, what happens is that we need a lot of funds at the R&D stage more than the ones which are later. I mean, something which is pure tech, you can build it at home using a code and then you sell it. But when it comes to healthcare, we need a lot of funds in the beginning before the launch stage. And that is where I feel a lot of health tech companies face the difficulty, because with a prototype, you really have to convince investors who may or may not be from a science background that this idea can work. So, what are your tips on getting, a lot of grants and fundings at that stage?
See, there are multiple grants which are available today to support any R&D of in healthcare. So I think multiple. Like, you can just look around for them. If not, we also very happily support those companies who are at R&D stage to work around and get around a best product in the market, even a prototype rather, forget the market stage. So we have done that in 2 to 3 health tech companies who still know it's been, I think we invested pre-COVID. Now the prototype is ready. So we have done that in the past as well, and happy to explore. It's something which is very breakthrough technology, which wants some R&D support from our end. Happy to do that. Happy to connect some hospitals also if required. If not, we're happy to connect to some grants as well. Who does healthcare grants? There are multiple. N number of grants which are available in the market, from lakhs to crores. So you can take crores. Though I think the process is tedious, but it's just if you once step in, I think it's a flow that you can get involved.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nikita. Thank you, Pooja. Yeah, so like you mentioned, there are many grants in different sectors, in fact, but startups actually technically doesn't know, the awareness is not there, or the process is very tedious and it becomes difficult for these startups to get access to such great facilities and such great resources. Before we go to Abhijit's question, we do have 1, 2 other questions. Abhijit, I hope you don't mind. So yeah, I think Prakriti from EgTech. We at Prakriti have recently launched India's first climate smart fertilizer. This is a frugal innovation for low and middle income farmers to help them enhance income and build a climate resilient agriculture infrastructure across the globe. What kind of support can we get from the JITO network in the agri-tech space?
See, to this specific kind of a question, it will not be easy for me to answer with a solution. It's important for us to understand what are you actually solving, even for that maths question that had come across, right? So we need to understand what are you doing, what is it, and then try and connect where JITO as a whole can play a very important role. Maybe you can touch upon connectors through Honey. We can get in touch and see how we can, work together and support in whatever form we can to the business that you're doing.
Perfect. Sounds good. So, Prakriti AgTech, if you're here, you can say hi to us.
Hello. Hi. Good evening to all. I think I'll drop a mail to Honey and I'll get in touch and let's see how it goes.
Sure.
Definitely. We didn't get your name though.
Myself, Dr. Rohan Chabla.
Thank you, Rohan.
I was based in Mumbai, so good network out there. So
Yeah.
I'll drop you a mail. I'll get in touch. So
Please,
hope to see
looking
you.
forward to get in touch.
Same here.
Great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Rohan. So our next question is from Praveen. Hi Pooja, we are into logistics and supply chain. We are in collaboration with MOWO, which empowers and trains women. We are hiring trained women for our operations. Okay, that's kind. So, do you have a question, Praveen?
Hey, sorry, I forgot to add the question. Uh, I'm sorry about that. I thought I already did. I was multitasking over here.
Good to
About that.
good to hear the question from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's what we're working on. So currently we are working with MOVO. MOVO is a organization in Hyderabad which trains men for being drivers, right? So they train people for three-wheeler and two-wheelers, right? So currently we are investing or we are working with a lot of customers for mid-mile to EVs. So that's the whole focus that is going on with us. And currently we are hiring people from the Movo organization. So they get trained through the organization and we typically hire them and they come to a payroll, right? So quite interesting way the Movo works and we are trying to work with them. So now the whole question is, you know, I heard in the tech and health tech, right? So logistics supply chain is the most unorganized sector in India, if you ask me, right? I mean, that's what I whole experience of our states that's about, right? So are you guys invested or interested in that sector as well?
We're excited to look into it. We've invested in a logistics startup. We've invested in, we've not invested in a supply chain, but there is a logistic company where we've invested in. And anything which is women centric and focused on women to make them independent to the core for their personal living and everything, happy to support that and understand that. If it falls into our thesis and see where we can support it, we'll definitely do so.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, Praveen. So, before we move on, I think Abhijit has a question. Hi, Abhijit. Please feel free to unmute your mic and ask question.
Just as you were saying before, so many grants are there, and many of the startups, they don't know what grants are, and different kinds of platforms they are there from government also, and likewise other good this type of organizations also. But I would like to tell you ki I have got a grant from Raftar Agri Extension for my product, which I'm working for malnutrition and as a health drink for society. It is a socio-economic project. Ayur Enzo is the product, and it is a biofortified milk blend of cow milk and natural herbs. So it is very nicely taken care that every I can say religion can take it, so nothing added in that. It is sugar free also. It is so many things are there, and I am working on malnutrition. So I would like to join with JITO and their communities for this socio-economical reason, and I would like to be a part of JITO for this. Can I get help?
You want help in what perspective? Abhijit, I still didn't understand. You're doing a wonderful job. But let's connect. Let me understand how for specific terms you want any help. Being part of any events and exhibition stalls, we can make you be part of those to get your product access to the cities and various places. Apart from that, is anything? Let's touch base and let's see how we can do something.
Yes, because yesterday's count of hunger and malnutrition deaths of mother and children was 90 lakhs in total India. So it was worrying even after 75 years of our independence and spending a lot of crores of rupees on that. Why this count is going on increasing? Why so many things are happening? So that's why I am interested and I have entered in 1997 in this project, and I have done a lot. So I would like to share all the details and whatever project I have done. with you. I will share it with Hani also. So we'll be in touch, and how we can go ahead, we'll see.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing those insights, Abhijit. Do we have Chanchal? I think Chanchal wanted to reframe the question and ask once again.
Okay.
Chanchal, please feel free to unmute your mic and ask the question.
Now, is it okay?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Actually, when I talk about the math education, everybody thinks of as a tutorial or tuition center sort of thing, or a teacher of mathematics, something like that. But it is not. We are doing some innovation in teaching mathematics, which is not available in the world. And this is a global product, what I should say, and it can simplify and solve the problem of difficulties faced in learning mathematics. So it is a radical change the way we learn mathematics, and that is the problem. And I have met almost all big universities, IITs, even our ministries, everywhere, school boards. I have signed many MOUs, but actual product that I still facing problem in launching, and financial support is one of the problem we are facing. And secondly, the adaptation means who is the right man, because this education system is controlled by the government. So whatever government framework is there, in addition to that, anything nobody encourages, everybody supports, but we do not get that much. Still we are facing problem, and this is the question I raised actually.
So what we can do, no, Chanchalji, let's connect. Where are you based?
I'm Ahmedabad.
Lovely. I'm coming to Ahmedabad next week, 14th.
Okay.
You drop in your number. My team will coordinate and we'll meet. Let's see what your product is actually. And
Okay.
let's see if it is facing a problem, what is it? We can maybe merge it with some company or something who is already doing some product in the market, and then can give your product as an add-on benefit to it. I mean, let's understand what the product is, and then maybe we can come up with multiple options and solutions where we can take this technology or this innovation to the next level.
Okay, madam. And I should write this email, business at 10,000startupindia.com.
Yes, that's Honey. You can address that to Honey, and then we can connect maybe as soon as possible. I am there in Ahmedabad on 14th for a day trip. We can catch up. Maybe my team will come. Is there? Once you connect with us, she'll give you a slot.
Okay. It will be better if we can have some virtual meetup, because I may not be available in 14th. I am at Kolkata now.
Okay, sure. Just connect us through Honey, and then we will fix up something. We'll definitely want to know the product, so we can do that virtually as well.
Okay. Thank you then. Okay.
Thank you so much for your question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much for sharing these amazing insights. I really enjoyed our conversation today. So insightful. And I think I've got really amazing content for all the entrepreneurs out there as well. And thank you, my lovely audience today, for asking such amazing questions. I really want to capture this. If everyone would like to come on camera and take a selfie with us. So can I see the smiles? Okay, people are camera shy, I can see. But really, I feel that, you should, even if you are in your comfy dresses, please come on camera for your faces so that I can feature you on my company page.
Okay. And share this photo also with us.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll email it to everyone who have joined today.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so shall we... Okay, 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Pooja. Really enjoyed this session on a Friday evening. Thank you so much for joining in, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward. Do share the details for tomorrow that is there. And let's see how we can connect with 100x, 10,000K startup and then work towards supporting the ecosystem in a much larger scale.
Indeed. Looking forward. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience. Take care. Bye.
Bye.